Now, from West Africa, we head to the southern part of the continent, where in South Africa, the future of former controversial South African President Jacob Zuma hangs in the balance after the country's highest court upheld a ruling that he should return to prison. The former statesman's mouthpiece, the Jacob Zuma Foundation, has announced that the leader is currently receiving medical treatment in Moscow, Russia, and would only return to the country once his doctors have finished. Last week, the Constitutional Court upheld a ruling that the former statesman had been wrongfully granted medical parole in September 2021 and should be returned to prison. The court also dismissed the Department of Correctional Services application for leave to appeal against the decision of the Supreme Court of Appeal on Zuma's medical parole. His party, the African National Congress, has alluded to the fact that the party will not let Zuma go to jail. Zuma's arrest in 2021 sparked mass protests and looting in areas of KwaZulu-Natal and Gauteng, resulting in his release from prison after serving less than 8 weeks of a 15-month sentence. Now, join us live to discuss this further is political analyst Lukanyo Ivanka. Thank you very much, Lukanyo, for your time, and it's a pleasure to have you join us on the news. Now, Lukanyo, what do you make of the ruling by the Constitutional Court in South Africa on this matter and the announcement that the former President Jacob Zuma has embarked on a medical trip to Russia?
Well, the ruling itself was not unexpected, as you've alluded to it already. He had already failed on 2 other occasions in the same matter in front of different courts, the High Court and then again the Supreme Court of Appeal. So the Apex Court ruling against him was not surprising. And as a result of that lack of surprise, I hope our leaders as well in the South African government were also not caught by surprise by this ruling, that they were preparing for the eventuality, of the likely eventuality that they might have to rearrest the former President Jacob Zuma. And looking at what happened the last time this happened in 2021 July with the riots and the violence that broke out, I hope they then planned for that adequately and they've put enough security measures to ensure that that doesn't happen again. But the fact that we've seen so much violence already in this July month with the burning of trucks on the streets of KwaZulu-Natal, one might be very concerned that there isn't adequate security measures for the government to be able to deal with the likely eventuality of a breakout of violence in the event that Mr. Zuma is rearrested.
Now, Lukanyo, the lack of specifics surrounding the nature of this, former President Jacob Zuma's health issues and the unexpected nature of the trip to Russia for medical reasons has sparked some controversy. Are there concerns about the timing of his illness? Are these concerns valid? Because some are insinuating that it might just be a ploy to escape justice.
Well, it might be important to note that he was a free man when he undertook this trip. Remember, his 15-month sentence had come to an end a few months before, so he wasn't under any house arrest at this moment when he undertook the trip. For him to have undertaken the trip pending this the outcome of this court judgment would have to signify to us that he somehow had inside information as to what the judgment was going to be. I'm not saying that's unlikely. We've seen something happen like that just recently on the South African justice system. But the fact that he's not in the country, there's a judgment that says he must return back to jail, is something that should be concerning all citizens in the country and concerning the government as well, that he might be a fugitive from justice. And there needs to be a way in which he is returned as quickly as possible into the country to deal with the situation that requires his immediate attention. So hopefully government is able to have those conversations with the government of Russia to ensure that Mr. Zuma is brought back into the country.
Thank you very much, Lukanyo Ivanka. We'll definitely keep tabs on this situation with former President Jacob Zuma. Thanks for your insight and your contribution.
Thank you for inviting me.